Welcome back to First Reviews and our coverage of the 2025 Toronto International Film Festival. I'm here with Mohamed Jabarah Al-Daradji, the director of Irkalla, Gilgamesh's Dream. I wanted to first ask you about that movie's title. What first resonated with you about that actual epic of Gilgamesh, the story? When you were coming up with the idea, did you find those parallels for the first time?
To be honest with you, I started the idea with I was watching BBC News documentary about a woman driving bus and teaching them through her mobile bus, and that was shocking me. And then I was thinking what could be the stories important for me. Education. I always say education is always important element in Iraq and in the world. We need it for children. And then I start to think, how can I link the education to the characters, and then this education to link them basically to Gilgamesh, to the history. So then I came with the idea to have the history of Iraq to be linked to the film through the school, through the mobile school. And from there, the development of Gilgamesh to be part of the film. And then I came with this crazy idea to have Gilgamesh come in 2019 in Baghdad from the water. And then the idea developed more, and I have it more with the Lamaso flying on the skylight of Baghdad with the main character. And this is where I thought the story become more and more uh, myself, to fly and to dream and to think about it.
I understand. Yeah, a lot of the film is. I saw this interesting quote about your film. It's basically about youth left to their own devices in a world devastated by adults. Like we said, that teacher character is their only real vessel of education, and so much of it is about understanding our circumstances, especially as children do, uniquely circumstances like war, greed, and death through stories like Gilgamesh, whether it's interacting with the dream of Irkalla through this idea of the Netherlands, far away for Chum-Chum, or trying to summon a djinn. Can you talk more about that universality of coping with the unknown through storytelling?
Basically, for me, I say to myself always, if I get involved in any story, it's not only Muhammad, the one from Baghdad. It should be you, wherever you are. It should be the another person that is from China or from Sweden. He will be also part of the story, because by the end of the day, you make your story of about a human being that he go through the journey that affect all of us. It's like Gilgamesh, the story of Gilgamesh. Why the epic of Gilgamesh stayed until today? Because it's still the story about this kind of king hero that he go through the journey to change, to become from the bad king to the good king, you know. And through the first story being written by a human being until today, we go through the same journey as a human being. Each one of us will go through our daily life like through a journey that will affect us. And this affecting is not only the guy from Baghdad go through a difficult time, but also the guy from New York, or the guy from Stockholm, or the guy from Venice, where I am right now. So all of that, it gives us the humanity, the universality of who we are as a human being. And of course, the circumstance where we are, it affects our involvement and how we will be affected emotionally about our daily life.
Mhm. I've noticed a lot of the cinematography in the film was very dynamic. From the opening shot, the water of the Tigris almost serving as the barrier between the living and the dead. In this case, Chum-Chum's parents. Or in another case, there's smoke in the distance that he just never addresses. Can you talk more about how the dynamic cinematography complements Chum-Chum's world within the greater world of Baghdad?
Uh, Basically, what is the water? That is life. That's human foundation. You can see each city always around the water, by the river, by the sea, by the lake, by the, you know. So the water is very important subject in our human being. And for me, I was thinking, okay, this Tigris and the Euphrates has been exist thousands of years. That is not only Muhammad has been there, a lot of people, human being was there. So I want to make it a center for us to be around the story. So all my story and all my characters around the river. And that's why I felt I need to start the film with Chum-Chum head under the water, and it looked like a distance between him and the water. And then you have Gilgamesh's figure of Gilgamesh, like a creatures coming from the water, look like coming from Irkalla. And then
Mhm.
by the end of
Yes.
the film, if you notice, Chum-Chum is flying above the water. Gilgamesh is still is under the water, and Chum-Chum is flying with Lamaso, and the Tigris River is still there. And the protests happen, and the life continue, and Maryam crossing the bridge. So, the subject of the water and the subject of the river is very important. Was in the cinematically vision that I want to create, and for me, I want to make Baghdad a beautiful city. Baghdad's a nice city. Forget what happened, forget the war, forget all the protests and all the chaos. But by the end of the day, there is a city, there is a river, put the city in two half, there is a bridge, and there is life. And this is where human being exists.
Yeah, let's talk more about those characters. You've talked about casting for the films in orphanages. What were you looking for in Chum Chum in the casting process? And then what surprised you about him once he inhabited the character?
I mean, to be honest with you, all my previous film, I work with the non-professional actors.
Hmm.
And I made a film. It's called no, "In My Mother Arm," about orphanage place in Baghdad and the effect of life and the effect of the occupation of the American on them. And and when I when I wrote this film, I was thinking about the orphanage that I made in 2011 film about them. And then I said, but this orphanage is they've been grown up, they have another life, and good life now. Let's see what's new they have, because I always in touch with them. So so I brought all the children to the film center where we are, and we talk about hundreds of children, and I start to do casting for them, basically playing games, do drama lesson for them, let them drawing, doing football, all of this activity for children. And I was looking for Chum Chum, and he was really hiding himself behind. He don't stay like front. He's not active a child, you know. He and his brother, he was there, but he was hiding. But I saw in his eye this hiding child that he have his eyes talk to me, you know. And every week when I start my short list, it comes shorter and shorter. He's there, until he was the last 4 or 5 children. And then I start to talk more with him, more try to tease him. I had some doubt about him because he don't talk. He's not active. But then I say to myself, let's push him more. And then when I push him, he become very aggressive. And he's changed 180%, like different. It's not the same child. And I say, here we are. Here I have a character that I can help. So I took a lot from his real character to bring it to the character that I wrote. And from there, I start to develop with him the game of Chum-Chum and how he played and all of that. And he was amazing.
When working with the child actors, how much do you like to lean into, maybe their improvisation, or is that something you like to do more in the rehearsals before shooting?
I mean, for me, like always, I give them a script. We read the script with the children, but they don't stick with the line really. They create their own line, and then we write it down together. So I give them the idea of the dialogue. I say to them, "You are pissed off with Moody, okay? Say something aggressive to moody, like this, and then say it in your own. And then he start to say it one time, three times differently, and then we start to feed it to the script, and then he become like by nature saying it, and then we say stay with them.
Working on the movie specifically, what were some truths about Iraq and Baghdad you realized many people just don't know?
Oh, honestly, like for me, what make me bring this story up and more is the victim of the dictators and the victim of the occupation and the war, and how they are the brutal of Iraq today. They're supposed to understand when you become a victim of a dictator or a war or occupation, but to be the man in power and to become a new dictator, that's very sad. And that's one of the elements that I want to have it on the film, and to have one of the character on the film. And that's something I want to share it with a lot of worldwide, to say basically, if you are a victim and you have the chance to have power, please don't abuse this power. Try to 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 forgive, to forget, to bring justice, but in different way, and that's very important. And that's what we needed in the world today.
With that, Irkalla, Gilgamesh's Dream is now premiering at Toronto International Film Festival in 2025. Is there anywhere else that maybe audiences can be excited to see the film if they haven't yet?
Yeah, I mean, the film we just had a very great and beautiful Locarno premiere of the film, and it was so touching, man. Man, it's 7 or 6,500 people watched this film, and it's silent and it's so powerful, and the stars in the sky of Locarno in Swiss, in the south of Switzerland, um, and you have the silence of people listening to the story of Gilgamesh, and it was very touching. And I'm happy to say it this very time because I just get to see the artistic director of Locarno Film Festival, and he told me I was the second voted film on the festival for the audience award, and only missing 30 votes between me and the first one. And that was very touching, very touching that he say that. And I'm hoping after Toronto the film will be traveling and will be go in a lot of place. We have a sale company and they are dealing with all the distribution now of the films.
Well, thank you again, Mohamed Al-Daradji, Irkalla, Gilgamesh's Dreams director. Thank you so much for your time.